you can still qualify for the ordinary open work permit. That is, if of course you get a job, you understand, and you use that job to actually apply for work permits. Now, this scenario 4 is you, your spouse, and or parents has a temporary residence permit with a validity of 6 months or more. Do you understand? Now, a temporary residence permit (TRP) enables individuals who are otherwise inadmissible or have failed to comply with the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act (ARPA) and its regulations to enter Canada temporarily, provided one, they can show a valid and justified reason for entering the country, and two, their entry into Canada does not threaten the safety or security of Canadian society. Now, what does the TRP mean? The temporary resident permit. Temporary resident permit is basically a kind of permit that they give you if, for instance, you have a medical issue that is fatal and Canada sees you as a threat to the healthcare system because they would have to pay more for your fatal illness or for your deadly disease, and they are trying to actually avoid that. So because of that, they give you a temporary resident permit for just a particular time. But when you came in, your spouse came in with you, then that your spouse can apply for work permit and be working in Canada, or that your parent, that your child rather can apply for open work permit and be working, you understand, in Canada, whilst you have the TRP. So only complying and justifiable circumstances are considered by officers when reviewing your TRP application, and you need to enter and your need to enter must outweigh any potential risk to Canadian society. Why do you need to enter Canada? Maybe, for instance, you have mental issues or medical problems, for instance, and the only place you can get very good um treatment is Canada. Yes, you are paying for it yourself. It's not that the government is paying for it because you are not a permanent resident. You can enter Canada if you are not going to be a threat to the Canadian society. Criminality is another thing that they use to make people inadmissible. So if you have gone into criminal rehabilitation, you have maybe served your term in jail or that kind of thing, and they see that okay, you may not be a threat again into the Canadian society, they can consider you for the TRP. And if they consider you for the TRP, by virtue of you getting the temporary resident permit, the TRP, your spouse or your common law partner or your what or your child can actually be working whilst you are actually year under that permit. Now, examples of compelling circumstances include business-related travel, visiting a seriously ill person or dying family member, or attending significant family events. So if you are someone that you have criminal history, you understand, and you have maybe like your mother that is sick in the hospital that you need to come and visit in Canada, Canada can give you the TRP for that particular time, and your spouse can be working whilst you have that TRP.